Hello there.
Hey, what is up, sweet, beautiful TCG loving faces? It's your boy Sean Caesar here with you guys in another video. And what we got for you guys today is a couple of deck profiles for some of the decks I'm going to be playing in the OP-16 meta. I'm going to be testing a lot of decks, and I mean a metric frick ton of decks. I'm going to be playing through all the new leaders, playing some of the older leaders. I got a little bit of support, a couple new toys, and seeing how they keep up. But I want to talk about primarily the archetype that I love to play the most, and that is the Navy. So the Navy in OP-16 looks pretty promising. Mainly in OPE 16.5, like next month in July when we get the starter decks, mainly for Kuzan, who's obviously the one I'm most excited for. And that's when I'm excited to see like what comes from that deck. But OP-16 looks very promising for the Navy. So the decks that we're going to be talking about is obviously the King of Cope, my King Kuzan. The deck I was most excited to play from the new set off the rip once they announced him, which is Sengoku. And then a deck I wasn't expecting to play, and I didn't think I was going to anytime soon, which was Rosinante. But there was a new build discovered with Rosinante using specifically one, or no, I guess I can't say one of the new cards. I think one of the new cards is the reason why people are hopping on it right now. But they're using quite a bit of OP-16 in this deck right now. Mainly because of one of the new SRs that we received for the Navy archetype. So we're going to talk through all of the list and give you guys like a quick update, a little rundown as to what exactly we're doing in OP-16. Starting off, once again, with Kuzan. And I will warn you guys, this list for Kuzan has not been tested. The Don Quixote list has not been tested. I've watched people play that list, and I thought it was a really good list, but I haven't personally tested it myself. And this Kuzan list is a homebrew that I haven't tested it quite yet, but once I do, you guys will obviously see it because I'll be posting a gameplay video on it as I take it to locals and see and figure out if it can keep up or not. But on paper, it looks pretty good, and I'll describe and explain like what exactly the thought processes are for this list as I'm going through them, like I normally do. So we can start off with the typical 4 searchers, the 4 Subarus here, just looking for your Navy targets. You know how it is. And then our next card is obviously the other search we have, which is the Sengoku. We all know what it does. Look at top 5. The trash card, look at top 5, grab 2 targets, and then because of your leader effect, you end up drawing an additional card after that. Going into our 2Ks, we got 4 of the Hina. Activate main, trash 1 card from your hand, make it so one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less can activate blocker. And I think it says base cost, right? Yes, base cost. I've talked about that before, where if you're playing against like an Enel player and they have a Reiju, you can activate this effect to prevent Reiju from blocking even if they are a 9 cost after they have 4 events in trash. And then we have 3 of the Gion, mainly for the Enel matchup, because that matchup is still going to be pretty prevalent going into 16. Still a very good deck. 3 of the Suru, and those are our 2Ks. We're only running a total of 10, which can get pretty dicey sometimes, but it's worked out for me so far, so I haven't really felt the necessary need to increase on 2Ks, but 10 is a pretty solid number. I like it way more than 8, I'll say that much. And one of the few changes we made from our last list is we're only going to be running 3 Bluegrass right now. This is what I'm going to be testing. I don't know how I feel about 4 Bluegrass. But the reason why I'm at 4 Bluegrass because there's another tech card that I'm thinking about playing in this deck the moment I saw it announced, and I want to give it a shot, and it does kind of take up the slot, the 4-cost slot as well. So I love Bluegrass. It is a very, very good card. I don't want to cut it down too much, or I didn't even want to cut it down to 3, but I felt like I had to here. Another card I felt like I didn't want to cut down to 3 is the Isho. It is an on-play trash 2 cards from your hand. If your opponent has 7 or more, or 6 or more cards in hand, they bottom deck too. So you're minimizing your opponent's hand size, and then the when attacking down times 1, trash a card to give something -2. Also helps for removal, and helps for your opponent's board. And trying to control it, trying to figure out trying to get threats off the board. This card's free. pivotal. Going down to 3 with this as well was such a hard decision. But as we go through the list, you guys will see some of the tech cards that I've added, and the reason why I've made the decision as to cut these down to 3 ofs. It hurts because, like I said, I'm afraid I'm going to miss them, but it feels necessary right now. Isuka, 6 cost, 6k, blocker, on play, bottom deck 4 cost. Still at 2 of. Part of me wants to increase this up to a little more. It is a very good card. It's come up a lot in my recent games. I really didn't think it was going to be as good as it is. Like, it's like my secret MVP, and I've been wanting to increase it to bottom deck to 4 cost, but I haven't found the space, and I don't think I'm going to have the space going into OP-16 as well. But I did not want to remove it from the deck. It's done so much work for me, so it's going to stay in the deck. Moving on, we have 3 copies of the 6 cost Kuzan. Guess what it does? Trash a card, free something. Very good card, very pivotal, very important for the Kuzan game plan. Next, I had to go down on another target, which is Sakazuki. Only 2 copies this time, which, once again, kind of hurts. Sakazuki is a very, very good target, allowing you to kind of refill your hand and then also cycle your hand with the activate main to also attach a Resodon to one of your cards. A lot of the time, I'm only playing maybe 1 to 2 max a game. A lot of the time, I end up pitching extra copies after I do have 1 copy on the board. But I usually only have, like, at max, I will have 2 on the board. But with how often you're cycling through this deck and drawing cards, I feel like the ratios I'm at here will be sufficient because, like, you're cycling through your deck so much. You're drawing through your deck a lot. So running at 3s and 2s, you will see them. Like, this has been a 2 of for the entire time that I've had this bit or had it in my deck, and I've seen it quite often. So that doesn't change much. Next, one of the fresh new takes. We'll go ahead and get a quick new close up to it. It is the OP-6 Aramaki, 8 cost 8k blocker. Activate main. Once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand and place 1 character with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. And this character gains 3,000 power during this turn. This is mainly in there for the Goofy matchup, Luffy, whatever you guys want to call him, the Impel Down Luffy. A lot of their attackers are mainly 2 cost, so not only allowing you to have a way to consecutively and consistently get rid of a 2 cost on their board. It's an activate main. You don't have to rest it. You don't have to do anything. It's very good. You're just pitching a card, cycling your hand, bottom decking a 2 cost. And then on their attack phase, you do have a 8k blocker. On your turn, if you don't need the blocker, you have an 11k attacker. But you have to be able to bottom deck a 2 cost, I think. Yeah, because it has it all in pulled, I believe. And, if someone knows your ruling differently than me, since all of it, you may trash a card, pitch from your hand to place 1 character with a cost of 2 or less to the bottom of the owner's deck, then you get the buff. I'm pretty sure both of those conditions have to be met for you to get the +3. So if you're not worried about leaving a blocker up and you have a 2 cost to bottom deck to give yourself the buff, this is a pretty good card. You could also bottom deck your own Tashigis on your board because it says bottom deck a character, it doesn't say bottom deck one of your opponent's characters. So if you just have a Tashigi that's been doing nothing the entire game, you go ahead and bottom deck your own Tashigi to give yourself the +3 power and swing for an 11k. But this card is something that was in my original build way back in OP-12. I absolutely loved the card back then. Now I feel like it is pretty prevalent. Going into a meta where now we have a deck that revolves almost completely around 2 costs. Then, of course, we have the heart and soul of the deck. We have 4 copies of the Monkey D. Art. Once again, you have to run this at a 4 of. I've run it at a 3 of before, and then I feel like there's been games where I feel like I've seen it more. There's been games where I feel like I don't see it at all, but I don't want to mess around with the ratios on the guard. I feel like it's required to be a 4 of for sure. Now, let's get into a couple of the tech cards we have here. The 2 copies of the Sanji. Previously, I was running it at a 3 of, and it was really hard for me to make the decision to cut down to 2. Because, like you'll see in some of the previous games where I first started playing this card, I will dig through my entire deck to play this precisely when I need it. And since there's 3 copies, I know I can confidently do it and just keep drawing, and eventually I'd find it and it would win me the game. It's not so It's not so easy now, per se. Now, because there's only 2 copies, so once I see one, I need to keep it and hold on to it for a rainy day. I can't just give it up for counter, silly-nilly. And then now, the next tech card, the new card. It is the Mr. 3 Galdino. This card is incredibly good. If you guys don't know what it does, let me go ahead and read it to you, because you guys will be seeing it a lot in OP-16. It is a 4-cost 5k, 1k counter. Activate made. You may trash this character, draw 2 cards, and up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 9 or less cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So, it is, once again, another target you can be playing at forward. Primarily, you want to play this, in my opinion, you want to play this later in the game, because it not only replaces itself, but it gives you an additional card. If you put it on the board and it's able to hang out, like you have no fear of it being removed and your opponent attacking into it, you can get some aggression out of it. You can swing for 5 and then use the effect to then go +2 in hand, instead of KOing it or removing it the turn it's played to then only go +1 in hand. But the reason why I wanted to play is because I feel like it's one of those cards where, when it's coupled with something else, you can really stall out a game in your favor. So one of my biggest problems when I was sitting at 10 Dawn, if you have an ice time and if you pay 5 for the ice time, there's almost nothing else you can play after that ice time that really has any sort of relevance, per se. Like, you could play a Bluegrass and leave 1 Dawn up for a Pheasant Peck. You can play a Sengoku and search a little more. You can play a Tashigi and search a little more. This, I feel like, is probably the best target to play after you play an Ice Time. So you play the Ice Time, you freeze 2 10Ks, you play the Galdino, pop it, draw 2 cards, so now the Ice Time, you went +1 in hand, because Ice Time replaces, you replace it, I guess, for lack of a better word, the Galdino will replace itself and the Ice Time. And then the Ice Time replaces the card that you trash off of it because of leader effect. So all the cards are replaced. You never went hand negative, per se. And then you are freezing an additional card on their field. You're freezing 3 bodies total and not taking any damage, not giving any cards up, not like you're stalling until you're ready to deal with whatever's going on. So when you're at 10, this with an Ice Time seems like one of the best plays you can do if you're not ready to go for a game, or if you're not ready to survive, basically. If you don't have like the cards in hand, or if you don't have the counter, you don't have the Pheasant Pecks, you don't have whatever, this and Ice Time can stall you for a little bit longer. So I think it's a really good card. I'm excited to test it and see how good it really is, and you guys will see it as well. Next up, another card I really did not want to go down any lower on, but I had to make the decision to. Pheasant Peck. I'm only running 3 right now. Once again, this isn't tested. I got to figure out like what the real ratios are, or how I feel about the ratios here. I feel like I can get away with 3, but it all depends on how like the game plays out. Like, on a turn where I'm playing Ice Time and Galdino, Pheasant Peck, I can get away with only, I can get away with only 3 if I'm consistently doing something like that where I'm freezing 3 bodies. One Pheasant Peck should get me there. But if I'm not having games like that, I can see only having 3 Pheasant Pecks as a bit of a problem. But once again, like, there's some text in here that I was trying to find space for, and these were the cuts that I made. Speaking of text, this is once again for the Goofy matchup. We'll push it here. Amano Marukuma Sword. This was a prevalent card back in OP5 for the Sakazuki meta, and if you guys don't know what it does here is a 2-cost event that says place up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, and up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of your opponent's deck. So once again, that's the reason why I have this here, is for the Goofy matchup, for the Bluefy matchup. Once again, they are trying to develop 2 costs to then gain value. So those 2 costs with 1 down attached are running this one through 6, and this is going to be a way to go ahead and stifle the progression, stifle their aggression, and make sure that they're not swinging with too many bodies when you're not ready. Also, one of the bodies that they can use against you is the Searcher Luffy. That the restriction is a little more, They can swing for a bigger number with one Dawn attached, but it gets plus 1k for each character on its board. So it can become a threat fairly fast because of how often or how easily Luffy can crap out bodies. Especially if they're going second, they can play at 2 costs. Usually, it effectively stands to play another 2 costs. This will come up handy in those types of matchups where you're able to bottom deck one of the 2 costs and bottom deck the Luffy Searcher as well to prevent them from having any type of like aggression with those bodies in the following turn. Next up, I'm just going to end up throwing this like right here. Ice Time. Just talking about it. 5 costs, trash a card, freeze 2 10Ks. Very good card, incredibly good. I wish I had space to play more than just 2, but 2 seems like the sweet spot. It's incredibly good. Like I feel like you should be running 2, no less than 2 in this deck. If you have space for more, then definitely run more. And then I have a 1 of Gravity Blade. I know we have a lot of decks right now that are pretty low to the ground. Another deck that I forgot to mention that this card is good into is Black Yellow Teach. This is good into bottom decking their bodies, their small bodies. Most of them are like the early bodies that they really want you to swing into are 1 cost, so this can bottom deck 2 of their 1 cost to get them out of the way. This is good into now to bottom deck 2 of their 1 cost as well. And then Gravity Blade is just, there's a lot of 4 costs in the game, 4 or higher costs. Like if you want to get rid of Ivankov and Buggy in 1 turn, this is your own way of doing it. If you want to get rid of, let's say, what's like Yamato's Kinemon and something else, granted like a lot of their bodies that end up staying on the board are 8 costs. Like Gravity Blade is still a very, very good card. Running it at 1 of feels kind of bad sometimes because I feel like I need it more. It's a very good card to get rid of some aggression, but in this meta it doesn't really seem like, I don't feel like you need too many of this. But that's the list. And we'll move on to the second list in just a moment here. But, like I said, it's untested. I haven't gotten into it quite yet. Haven't tested it. I will be testing it very soon. I will be running my face against the wall once again for another meta with Kuzan and seeing how it goes. And then when when July comes around, when OP-16 comes around, you best believe I will be running it down mid with Kuzan once again. I'm hoping that his support is very, very good. But moving on to the next one, we have Sengoku. You guys have seen some of the games on my channel already. If you haven't, go ahead and check those out. Where I have played this exact list. This list is tested. I played how many games total now? 7 total in paper. I haven't played any on the sim either, so like the only bit of practice I have on this deck is in paper. And this is the list that I've been rocking with. Starting off, we have, these sleeves are so sticky. Sorry. We're starting off with the Kobe. If you guys don't know, it's just a basic searcher. 1 cost, 2k, 1k counter, on play, with top 5 for a Navy card. Very good, very necessary, because this is what the entire deck wants to do. It wants to search consistently. Next up, we have Suru. This one, don't want to play it too often, because it has a little bit of a pushback. It's 1 cost, 2k counter, on play. Look at top 5, find a Navy type card, and if you added a card to your hand, trash 1 card from your hand. Or no, actually, even if you didn't add anything, let me preface that, because it says look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Navy type card, add it to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom of the deck, then trash 1 card from your hand. So even if, like, worst case scenario, you whiff off of this, you do have to still pitch a card from your hand. It blows, it sucks. That's why, like, it's a searchable 2K. You do not want to search with this card unless you absolutely have to. Next up, another card that you don't want to use unless you absolutely have to. 5 cost, 2k, 5 cost, 5k, 2k counter Sengoku on play. If your leader has the Navy type, add up to 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and rest them. Then draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. So it's a bit of cycle. If you don't have your Admirals yet, when you get to 5, when you need the double ramp, because I'm telling you need the double ramp at 5. This will help you cycle your hand and try to find them. But once again, it's one of 4 2Ks in the entire deck, or sorry, 8 2Ks in the entire deck. So you kind of don't want to use them all willy-nilly. So don't use those cards for what they're intended to be used for unless you absolutely have to. Next up, I don't know how many people are running this, but I am, because I feel like it's necessary if you're going second with this deck. But it's a 2-cost 1K 1K counter Donkey to Rosinante. Is a blocker and on play. You may rest 2 Dawn cards. If you do, you can ramp or add. If your leader's Navy type, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Like I said, I'm running this because I feel like it's really necessary if you're going second in on this deck. I've seen some people running the Bon Clay, which I think is a good tech option. The problem I have with certain cards in this deck, is you are searching your deck furiously. Like, so many cards in this deck are searching, and you need to find your admirals. Cards that do not have the Navy type are most often bottom decked off of your searchers, because like I said, you're searching so much that any text you have or any cards that you have that don't say Navy on them, you will bypass them, you will bottom deck them, and you have to eventually draw into them naturally. So I have opted to run something like this over, let's say, a Bon Clay, because if I see this in a search, I can grab it if I absolutely need it. On top of that, it's a blocker, and it's something that's going to help you ramp at 4, but it's mainly because of its blocker. Like, it can be dealt with very easily because it is only a 2-cost or 2-cost 1K, but just like Bon Clay is also a 1K. It's just a 4-cost instead. But it does the same thing. It's just searchable. The Dawn's not active, and this is a blocker instead of a potential attacker. But like I said, I like it more. Next up, the 5 cost that you want to see at 5 exactly when you're going going first, and that is the Monkey D Garp. 5-cost 6K, 1K counter on play. If your leader has a Navy type, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active, and add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as rested. So you're double ramping just like the Sengoku, but instead of cycling 2 cards, you are setting one of your Dawn as active instead of setting both of them as rested. Then it's also a 6K body on your turn, so you have another 6K body that you can go ahead and swing, get some aggression with, try to trade into some bodies, or try to apply some pressure to your opponent before you get into your Admiral turn. And speaking of Admirals, let's go ahead and talk about the first one we have here, and it is the 7-cost 8K Kuzan. It's a 7-cost 8K on play. Add up to 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and rest them. Then it has to activate main, Dawn -1, up to 1 of your opponent's characters. Cannot activate blocker during his turn. Very good card. And I feel like this card is slept on. It's definitely, in my opinion, the weakest out of the Admirals, but it is a very, very good card. Just being able to Dawn -1 and target something, say this cannot activate blocker. If you're playing against a deck with big blockers like Ace, Nami, Blackbeard, this will help you get some early aggression out. The more Kuzans you have on the board, the easier it will be for you to be able to break through the defenses and hit into life. A lot of the time, I almost only have like 1 of these on the board. There's been times where I've had 2 of them, and 2 of them feels really good as well. But the other 2 Admirals are obviously better for different reasons, and you probably want to see them a little more than this one, especially depending on the matchup. Like, if you're playing against a bunch of blockers, Kuzan's better. If you're playing against a deck that has no blockers, the other 2 are way better by far. And speaking of the other 2, the next one is the 7-cost 8K Borsalino. On play, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active, and add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. And then at the end of the turn, you may Dawn -2, set this character as active, and then this character gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So this becomes an attacker and a blocker. You just go ahead and swing 8, and then at the end of your turn, if you have enough Dawn and you're not setting yourself too far behind, you can Dawn -2 to set this back up as active and give it blocker, so now you have an 8K blocker on your turn, on your opponent's turn as well, to keep yourself alive. The card is very good. It saved my ass in a lot of games. The problem is that Dawn -2 cost is pretty expensive after your first Admiral turn. Like, you have to see Sakuzuki's, or you are not going to be able to catch back up in that Dawn, and you're going to be on your turn trying to go for game with like 5-6 Dawn up. It's pretty rough. And then the more of these you have on the board, the more Dawn you're returning to try to survive. Sometimes it's necessary. I get it. I've done it. But this card can be like the bane of your existence after a while, because you're just returning so much Dawn just trying to stay alive. But once again, that's where this card comes up, and probably the best Admiral, and it's why it's the only SR in the deck. 7 cost 8k Sakuzuki. On play, Dawn -1, give it to one of your opponent's characters -6k power until the end of your opponent's next end phase, and then has an activate main. Once per turn, you may rest one of your Dawn cards. If your leader has the Navy type, add up to 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and set them as active. So you're resting 1 to get 2 back. Very good effect. Incredibly good effect. The first effect, Dawn -1, gives something -6 for the entire turn cycle. An incredibly good effect. These are the 2 you want to see the most, especially the Sakuzuki. Especially if you are going second, having 2 of these, stupid good. Because when you are going first, granted, a lot has to go so right. In my opinion, when you're going when you're going second, you have to see 4 Admirals total. You have to see 1 that you can play at 7, and then 3 that you can play on your first 8 Dawn turn. So your only turn that you are able to search when you're going second is your first turn. When you have 2 Dawn up, use those 2 Dawn, try to find your Admirals, try to draw into them. Because then when you're at 4, you want to play your Rosinante to then ramp up to 5, and then once you're at 7, drop one of your Admirals, preferably Sakuzuki, because this card's going to really help you ramp back up and get your Dawn back. So you want to play one of your Admirals at 7, and then when you go to 9 on the following turn, to 8 on the following turn, you return all 8, get all your Admirals back, or play all 3 Admirals. That's what I found so far with the deck, is that if you're going second, you kind of need so much to go right to help you and essentially have a chance in a matchup. And that's so far what I found. It's like you search for your Admirals going first, dig for them, try to draw into them, take some life, try to see them. At 4, you're playing your Rosinante so that you're ramping up to 5 on your 4 Dawn turn, and then at 7, you're playing one of the Admirals, and then at 8, because you went back a Dawn, basically, unless you're playing one of these, preferably once again Sakuzuki, but if you're playing some of these, then you're ramping instead. But at 7, you play one of your Admirals, and then after that, you should be at 8. If you went back in Dawn, you should be at 8. If you went up in Dawn, you should be at like 9, 10. Then you want to go ahead and drop the other 3 Admirals. It takes a lot for it to go right. Like I said, it's pretty high rolling when you're going second for that to happen, but that's what I found to be very successful. But Sakuzuki, definitely the best. First event from the deck, the first of many, I should say, is Define Departure. You guys will see on my games that I am playing Gum Jet Gatling instead. The reason why I had this was just like a placeholder. I was testing it, seeing how I feel about having Gum Jet Gatling instead. The reason why I had it and was testing it was because I wanted to see how often or how realistic it would be to hit Gum Jet Gatling out of life for the trigger to help me turbo ramp. It never came up in any of my games. I will say that much. It never came up. But Divine Departure, I definitely think, is the better zero-cost event, because you're able to attach Dawn, rest 5, and get something -8k. That coupled with the Sakuzuki, like, you're removing almost anything you want on the board as long as it's resting. Very good card. And with how many bricks you're running in this deck, it's pretty necessary to have some sort of zero-cost event in your deck. Next up, we have 4 copies of the Mamoragan. You guys know what it does. If you don't, it's activate main, Dawn -2, draw 1 card, and then rest up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 power or less, and then it has a counter up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1,000 power during each battle. Then if you have 6 or less Dawn cards on your field, draw 1 card. So after your first Admiral turn, you will return 8 active Dawn, and then you will go back up to 6 if you're exactly at 8, I will say that. So at 8 Dawn, you will return all 8, and then because of all the effects, you will ramp back up to 6. So this will ramp you to rested, this will ramp you 1 rested, 1 active, and then you will use the 1 active you get off of Borsalino to rest 1 for Sakusuki's effect, and then go back up to 6. So once you have your first Admiral turn, you will be at 6 Dawn to be able to abuse Mamoragan for a counter and then replace it itself in hand with the draw effect. Next up, we have the 3 Admirals event. It is a 1 cost counter. You may rest 3 Dawn cards. Up to 3 of your Admiral type characters gain plus 2k power during this turn. If you have an Admiral type character on your field, if you have the Admiral type character, up to 1 of your leader character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this turn. I didn't exactly use the first effect. There hasn't been a moment where I felt like it's necessary. It does seem pretty decent. You're resting 4 to get basically a 2 Dawn increase, for lack of a better word, because to give all 3 of your Admirals plus 2k counter, it would cost you 6 Dawn. So you're getting a 2 Dawn discount. We'll put that a 2 Dawn discount on the power increase with 3 Admirals. I haven't used it at all. I've never done it. I've only kept this in hand as a counter event to keep myself alive in the late game when I have a very small hand. I have 3 Admirals on the board and like maybe a 1k and a couple 2ks in hand. I'm like, okay, this Admiral, like this event's gonna have to keep me alive. It's a very good event. Like the moment you have 1 Admiral on the board, it's a 1 cost 4k plus 4k counter. It's very good. Next up, probably the most important part of this, most important searching part of this deck is the Buddha Sengoku event. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 2 Navy type cards, add them to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, then trash 1 card from your hand. So it has the same downside as Suru, where you're trashing a card from your hand, but you're at least looking at top 5 and grabbing 2 targets. So if you really decided that you don't need like anything else, you grab the 1 target you need, you can just grab something that you want to trash off the effect anyway and just get rid of it to keep your hand the way it was, basically. But I feel like this is the most important searching card in this entire deck, because the fact that you're able to grab 2 cards instead of 1. You are trashing a card, you're going hand neutral, but I feel like it's just incredibly good. I'll almost always opt to search with this first. Then the next searching card in this deck, it is the 1 cost stage Marine Forward. On play, look at top 5 cards of your deck, and reveal a Navy type card, add it to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Just searching for your Navy, searching for your Admirals, trying to get the combo online so that you can go ahead and drop all 3 of your Admirals at 8. Then has the activate main Dawn -1. You may rest a stage, draw 1 card, and trash 1 card from your hand. This effect I use every once in a while. Like if I'm not hurting and I just need a Dawn to be able to ramp back as active with Sakazuki, I will almost always just use this effect to draw 1, pitch 1, just so I can get that Dawn back with Sakazuki. So it's not very often that you will use it for the secondary effect, but you will almost always use it for the first effect, just really digging for your Admirals. Like that's the theme of this deck. That's the one thing this deck does, is you're searching for your Admirals, and then at 8, you want to return 8 Dawn and play 3 Admirals. It's very straightforward, very streamlined. Like that's what the deck wants to do. And the goal is to try to do it as efficiently as possible. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So far, I've seen that the deck is obviously extremely consistent because of how many searches you have. Like you are looking for everything, you're trying to find everything. And so far, I've played it. I don't think I've had a single. No, I have. I've had 1 Admiral turn or 8 Dawn turn where I've only played 2 Admirals because I'm just kind of like I got unlucky. But other than that, I feel like the deck is extremely consistent. It's just very straightforward. Like it's doing one thing and one thing only. Next up, the deck that I did not expect to be playing, but I'm all for it now. It is a Navy deck, and it's Don Quixote Rosinante. I wasn't too big of a fan of this deck, or I wasn't like really interested in this deck initially when it first came out. It was pretty bad on its initial release, And then when it got all the support, that made it pretty good. I still wasn't exactly too big of a fan of it because it wasn't like my playstyle. I wasn't like a big fan of like what it did. I could understand how good it was. I recognized how good it was. I just didn't want to play it back then. But now there's a new package, and now I'm all for trying this deck out and playing it, because now there's been a new build that has been discovered that people have been deeming Navy Nate, and you guys will see why. Starting off with the deck, we have 3 Kobes. You're searching for Navy. You're playing Navy in this deck. This will help you find some of your targets, some of like the original targets, I will say, but not a lot of them. Like, you're just looking for anything that has Rosinante, because Rosinante is a Navy type. So this will help you find your Rosinante, and this will help you find any of the other Navy cards that you'll see in the deck. Speaking of Rosinante, if you're looking specifically for a law instead, you can use Kobe to search for Rosinante, and then use Rosinante to search for law. It's pretty straightforward. Then let's go ahead and get into some of the 2Ks. We have Usohachi. You guys know what this does. It's 3 cost, 2K counter. On play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, you may rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, just to help get around some of your opponent's pesky blockers, or if you really needed to remove something instead, you could rest something so that you can swing into it. Very good 2K. X-Drake, 3 cost, 3K, activate main. Place, you may rest this character. You may rest this character, and if the number of life cards is equal to or less than the number of your opponent's life cards, you can rest up to one of your opponent's 4 costs or less. This was originally in my kid deck, so I had to pull these out because I love this ult. It's such a nice ult. But super good. I saw people that were running Suru, and I understand why people were running Suru, because it's searchable 2K. Once again, as you guys heard from the last deck, I'm not too big of a fan of using Suru or playing Suru. So I opted to use this instead, because at least this has some sort of utility that doesn't like affect you negatively. So it's searchable, and it's just a good 2K. Now, the 2K that everyone runs at a 4 of. Law. Really not anything going on. 4 cost, 5K. Trigger if your leader has a supernova type. Add, and your opponent has a total of 5 or less life cards. Play this card. You're never going to play this off the trigger. It's literally just a searchable 2K off of your Rosinante, and something you can get back with another event in this deck as well, just in case you need it. So it's a 2K that you can use and 2K that you can recur. Next up, we got 4 cost 3K Trafalgar Law from the new set. It says, on play, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. When attacking, if your leader has the Don Quixote Don Quixote Pirate type, this character gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. This is just like another target, just in case you don't see your promo law at 4. You can play this to also get the ramp back, and then it's a 6K swing. They can swing into it very easily because it is only a 3K, but you're at least getting the ramp. Like, if you don't see promo law, you see this instead, you play it, you're still ramping, and then you still have like a 6K swing on your opponent's turn as well. On your next turn as well. So, pretty good. Don't need too many of those. Now, speaking of promo law, it's a 4 cost 6K blocker on play. If the number of Dawn cards in your field is equal to or less than your opponent's Dawn, you may add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So this is going first. This is what you're going to play going on your 3 Dawn turn. You're going to return 1 Dawn, play this, get that Dawn back, and now you have a 4 cost 6K blocker. Very, very good. Like, you guys know what this deck wants to do. It's very straightforward, very streamlined, but now you just have an additional target that you can use for it just in case you don't hit this. So you have 6 targets that are basically doing the same thing. Next up, 2 copies of Riplaw. Everyone loves him, everybody hates him. This card is good. It's annoying, but it's good. 4 cost 5K blocker on play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, trash 2 cards from your opponent's hand. This card is so good to disrupt your opponent's hands, and because it's not like Isho, you get to choose. So your opponent shuffles your hand, and you just go ahead and rip 2 cards out of it. They don't get to choose how their hand gets sculpted. You get to rip cards out of their hand. It's at random. It's not like crazy good, but there have been times where you play this card, you rip 2 cards from your opponent's hand, and then you look back at their hand and they go, oh, great. Like, I needed those cards. So this card is incredibly good. Next up, one of the Navy targets we are searching for. 5 cost, 6k Borsellino. You guys know what this card does. It is incredibly annoying, very strong, very good. But since now I'm playing it, it's based. It's based, guys, it's based. It's in a Navy deck, it's based. It's just such a good card. It's incredibly good. I'm surprised that they even printed something like this, but it exists. And I bought a playset of alt arts because I was hoping that eventually I would play them in a blue-yellow Navy leader, or maybe a black-yellow Navy leader, like some other Navy leader. But here I am playing a purple-yellow Rosinante with this card, which, you know what, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Very good card. There's a reason why people hate it. Next up, one of the standard parts of this package, or for this deck, is the 6 cost 8k Rosinante and Law. It has blocker, and on play, if the number of Dawn cards on your Dawn deck is equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, draw 1 card and then add to 1 card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Very good card. Very good stat line that you can play for 4. Stupid good. And then it's also one of the few bodies in this deck that you can actually protect, kind of like the Rip Law, the Promo Law, and the Baby Law here. But it is such a good card. A lot of the time, like, this is what your board presence is. It's just this 6 cost 8k blocker. Such a good card. You guys know what it does. Or at least I would hope you guys know what it does. Now, the card I feel like made this whole package up, the reason why people are playing this package, it's a 7 cost 8k Sakazuki. We just went over it in the last deck. It is such a good freaking card, and I'm almost positive the reason why people have shifted into this build is because of this card. Like, being able to ramp yourself back up is really good. Giving something minus 6k for an entire cycle is incredibly good. Like we just talked about it, it's a good card. I feel like this is the reason why people are playing this package, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Next up, 2 copies of the 8 cost 6k Secret Rare Law. Rush, activate main, trash 1 card from your hand, trash this character, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, and then you get to play up to 1 Trafalgar Law with a cost of 7 or less from your hand. Stupid good card. Only running it at a 2-up because right now we're looking at like maximizing like the Navy targets and trying to use this Navy build. The only targets you really have to play off of this law are like your Rosinante and Law blocker, your Rip Law, your Promo Law, your Baby Law, your 4-cost Law if you really absolutely have to. I doubt it though. But I'm only running it at 2-up. I'm going to test it out, see how I feel about it. Like I said, I've watched people play this list. It looks really good. And I was like, you know what, that's the one I'm going to go ahead and try, and then I'll make adjustments from there. So this is the list I'm going to give a shot. We'll see how it goes. We got 1 copy of Divine Departure. Not too bad. I mean, you do run quite a few bricks in this deck, but 1-0 cost can't hurt nobody. Also, if you don't absolutely need it, the other effect is incredibly good to try to get the on the board as well. Next up, a playset of Mamoragans. You're playing purple, you're playing Mamoragan. This card is just incredibly good. Just generically good. Just being able, if you're at less Dawn than your opponent, or 6 or less Dawn, being able to get a 1k counter that also replaces itself is just such a good effect. I feel like every purple deck is running this card. Next up, So Beam Sword. Stupid good card. Stupid good card. I love this card. It saves your ass in a lot of matchups, and I feel like it saves your ass in almost any matchup, I should say. It's just an incredibly good card. Just being able to have, it's expensive in the sense that it's cost 2 and then you're returning 1 Dawn, but getting a 2k counter and then resting anything on your opponent's board, like let's say you're playing against a black yellow teach player and you need to get rid of their blocker for the next turn for when you go to game, you can go ahead, react to one of their swings, use the So Beam Sword, get yourself a 2k counter, and rest their blocker so that they can no longer rest or block with that character on your turn. Is just incredibly good. Or if you're trying to survive, you can use this as a 2k counter and rest one of the bigger bodies on your opponent's board, so now they can't swing with it. It's just such a good card. Such an incredibly good card. Next up, Marine Forward, the stage. Just went over it in the last deck. Looking at the top 5, looking for a Navy and activate main Dom. I just want to draw 1 and trash 1. Not bad. We're just using it as another searcher along with the Kobe's, looking for your Navy targets. Then lastly, the 1 cost events. I love you. Counter up to one of your opponent's counter up to one of your leader character cards gains plus 2k power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, add it to 1 Trafalgar Law from your trash to your hand. So if you have the Trigger Law here, you could pay 1, get 2k counter, grab the 2k back, play the 2k again. So basically this is like a 1 cost 4k counter. It's incredibly good. Like, that's the most common combo here, is that you're using this to get this back. Or if you don't need the plus 4k, you can pay 1 to get the 2k and then add the heal law back to your hand so that you have a heal option again for your following turn. So good. So good. Like, it's probably one of the best events in the game. Counter events in the game, in my opinion. It's like just being able to effectively become a non-conditional plus 4k, or potentially grabbing your heal option back so that you can go ahead and heal again. It's just such a good event. But that was a list. If you guys want to try it out, go ahead and try it out. Let me know how it goes for you guys. Like I said, I've seen it get played. I haven't played it personally quite yet, but I'm excited to give it a shot for sure. But that is the list, guys. Let's go ahead and grab them, pull them back out again. So we got Rosinante with the new Navy Nate build. We have Sengoku, focusing on your admirals, and then we have Kuzan, which is just my favorite cope deck. Love this deck. Just trying to do some more work with this deck. Going into OP-16, OP-16.5 in July, this deck is definitely going to get buffed up, and we'll see if it can still keep up and if the tools that it got is as good as I'm hoping. But let me know what you guys think about these lists. Let me know what you guys think about this deck, and let me know what you guys think about OP-16 so far. If you guys played some, let me know what you guys have played. Let me know what you guys' favorite decks are right now, favorite matchups, problematic cards, favorite cards to play personally. I want to hear all about it down in the comment section down below. But yeah, please let me know what you guys think about these decks and what you guys are looking forward to. Alright, and that will be it for me, guys. I'll catch you all in the next video. Shonen Caesar out. Peace.